This segment is brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisors in the Waco area. Cam Heathcott, Brad Wilson, and my golf buddy, Ben Erlinson. They will help make sure your financial security is set. I don't have a lot of money. That's what their job is, to make sure you do before you know it. Sam Houston State University football coach Phil Longo with us. Paul Catalina, David Smoak. We're in San Francisco, Super Bowl 60 on Sunday. New England and Seattle. Phil Longo in Huntsville. Coach, thank you very much for your time. We had Mac Brown on the show on Monday, and he discussed the recruitment and all of what you guys saw in Drake Maye, and I've seen some of your quotes on him too. What did you see, and your thoughts about what he's accomplished already?
Well, I think when we were recruiting him, it was, he's listed as a pocket quarterback, and I go watch him in the playoffs, and he's making plays with his feet and doing things athletically. And I always thought he was a gifted athlete. And I think it really comes from, one, the level of competition he saw on a day in and day out basis, just with his family. There's so much history there with mom and dad both being athletes at North Carolina, and his brothers all being successful athletes in their own sport at their own place. And I just thought the basketball plays and had played a big part in how much he's able to contort and throw off his back foot and be off platform and do those types of things. And so I always saw him as a dual threat guy. And I think that's proven to be true. And so fast forward, obviously the career he had at North Carolina was outstanding. He was a leader. He was a great passer. He was a very good athlete. And then the part I think that maybe a lot of people don't talk about is how intelligent he is with regard to just knowing the game. And I think you got to be a junkie at that position to be successful, and he certainly is one.
Mac mentioned how incredibly loyal that he was, and how when he made his decision for North Carolina, of course, the game was rigged a little bit because the whole family's North Carolina, but he was not going to change no matter what. How rare is that now?
Well, interestingly enough, he was committed to Alabama, and we flipped him from Alabama. I thought, really the Maye family, in my opinion, is the Manning family of North Carolina. And I just think, his brother won a baseball championship at Florida, and his other brother hit the winning shot for North Carolina National Basketball Championship. And his other brother played for a basketball team at North Carolina. Dad was a quarterback. Mom was a track star. So you've got a huge history there, and I thought that was always an advantage for us. I think he had a different perception and view of North Carolina before the Mac Brown regime showed up there. And so he took a bigger, longer look at us when we got there, and we're able to make it happen, and the rest is history.
You move on to Wisconsin, which is a great opportunity for what you're doing, and now the head coach at Sam Houston State. It's an opportunity in Madison, but what was it like to have to leave him? Because he also wanted to make sure whoever was next after you left was going to be somebody that he could handle and deal with. And apparently that worked out. But what was that like to say you were leaving?
It's probably convenient for me to say now, but I would tell you, toughest decision I've ever made in my 37-year football career, leaving Drake. And that's how I felt. I felt like I gave North Carolina every ounce I had. I think anybody that was a little bit more sane would have hung in there another year and spent it with Drake. I mean, I was extremely loyal to North Carolina, loved it there, still do. And so it was really difficult and very bittersweet. And it killed me watching him every game as I was coaching in the Big Ten. But, he reached a point where he doesn't need me. He just needs to continue doing things the way he did things. And I'm proud of what we did while we were there with him. I'm proud of him, so now I can continue to be a fan and not necessarily a coach and enjoy him the way everybody else does. And I cannot wait for the Super Bowl on Sunday.
What is it for you to watch ex-players? How does that – is it – I mean, it's like you're watching kids almost, right? Your kids.
Well, somebody said, Coach, who would you take? Matt Corral or Jordan Ta'amu or Drake Maye or Sam Howell or Tanner Mordecai. And I'm like, you're asking me, like, what child do I love more?
Yeah.
And so they're all different, and they're all were great in their own way. Um, Drake has always had something special about him. That's not going to change, and he just has that it factor on top of being a great athlete, on top of being a great passer, on top of being a football junkie. So he has everything you need. And then you add that it factor and the competitive. Probably the thing that stands out with me the most of all great quarterbacks have it, but I've never seen anybody that's more competitive than he is. If I told him I was going to get to the doorknob of the staff before he did, he'd jump over the table and beat me. And that's just kind of how he and Sam Howell played a ping pong game, supposed to be a ping pong game, one night during a recruiting weekend. They completely forgot about all the recruits that totally competed against each other that night. We couldn't get them off the ping pong table. I think we didn't leave there until 1 or 2 in the morning because neither one of them would leave the table until they had one up the other one.
Ha!
That's what great ones do, and
Yeah.
Greek has that, and hopefully we see it shine through on Sunday.
How often when you travel, you have so much stress and anxiety to set the trip up? You don't have to do that. Let Alan Samuels, House of Travel, and Bambi Eskew do that for you. Contact them. You can call them at 776-2560, area code 254. We have our Airbnb here at the Super Bowl in San Francisco set up. We had 5 airline tickets set up. We didn't have to worry about anything. I sent her the dates of when we're going to be in San Francisco, and here we are. Thanks to Alan Samuels, House of Travel. Take out the anxiety, take out the stress, and let them do that for you. Well, I was going to bring this up because of your time at Wisconsin. You brought up Tanner Mordecai. What you don't know, Phil, is that we did Midway football. We still do Midway football local radio, and Tanner Mordecai is just as genuine, unbelievable. I know he hasn't had the career yet that he wants and what that might be in the future in the NFL, but another one, just a gem of a person and a great young man and a hell of a talent.
Hell of a talent. I have been very fortunate. Players make coaches. Coaches don't make players. And I think a good coach doesn't screw it up when he has an opportunity to coach a great one. But those guys have been an absolute pleasure, and they've made my career just so much more enjoyable than it already is. Sam Howell and Tanner Mordecai, 2 of the toughest individuals I've ever coached. And, Drake is the closest thing to the total package that you're going to find.
Tanner is, when he was in high school, and he's loosened up a lot, Coach. When he was in high school, he was serious as a heart attack, and I knew that would serve him well when he got to college because he didn't chase down trivial things at a young age. He was intense. So I'm sure you got to experience that.
Oh, there's no doubt. And it took me a little while to crack the shell when we first got together, but you are right. I mean, he's a genuine, high class, very intelligent, and at times very serious human being. And it's what makes him great when he's out on the field. And, I have these guys think they learn things from me. I have learned more from these quarterbacks than I ever did for them. And I'm probably better just for being around those guys. And it is so rewarding to watch guys that deserve it, work hard enough for it, and are talented enough to do it, to put it all together and get it done. And so it's like I said, it's going to be I'll be more like a dad watching the son on Sunday than I will coach.
Yeah, I did coaches and the way that you guys affect and impact men, young men, and sometimes really not with Tanner or Drake. They had great family backgrounds, but sometimes without the coaches, I mean, you wonder about some of the young men and unbelievable impact. So you're now at Sam Houston State. I know last year didn't go well, but the game I saw you play, I happened to watch it. You guys came from way back. It seemed like a bunch to win. What did you learn about the program? I know there was transition and about yourself last year, and also looking ahead, what right now is the offseason.
Well, I think when I got here, I knew there were some obstacles. And the president, Dr. White, and our athletic director, Bobby Williams, are extremely committed to doing this thing the right way and winning, which is something they've done here for many, many, many years. And, Willie Fritz did a phenomenal job of building this program built off of what Ron Randleman had done for so many years. And he elevated it to a national powerhouse, and they've been one of the most successful FCS programs in the country. Problem is right now, FCS that approach does not win at this level. And so we were really the only unfunded FBS program in the country last year. And now we get to take a great step here at Sam Houston, and we're going to do it. We have far more resources financially right now than we did last year. And the program looks much different at this point in time in 2026 than it did in 25. So if you can't tell I'm excited about next season, you're not listening to me.
No, we could tell. We could absolutely tell. And I was happy to connect the dots. And we do appreciate your time, Coach, because of what you're going through right now as far as getting meetings and et cetera. It's just, I mean, what a great story to be this successful early, but at the same time, you've given us all the reasons of why Drake Maye. Was there ever a time, I know when Sam Howell was there, you talked about the competitiveness, even ping pong, et cetera, but was there ever a time when you saw Drake have adversity and you had to kind of help talk him through that other than not playing early on?
I don't know that you ever saw him lose composure or poise. That wasn't something I really had to address with Drake or Sam. And so when we hit some tough spots, made a bad decision, threw a pick, had a bad series, anything like that, it was really more just coaching through how to handle it. But both stayed so poised and composed. With Sam, Sam would process it, assess it, make sure it didn't happen again. Drake was reacted a little differently. Drake would be just so competitive. I think he was almost uncomfortable on the sideline after a bad series or a bad play that ended a drive. He just was itching to get back out there so he could one up the last drive. And that was something with regards to coaching Drake I enjoyed all the time. He never lost focus. He didn't let anything get him down. I think no matter how poorly a game goes, what makes him so dangerous is that he's going to try to find a way to play his best football when it's time to win the game, even if the day didn't go well for him early on. And that's what I like about him. He's a no quit guy, and that's probably what it's going to take for him to perform well this Sunday.
Yeah, how about that big, huge fourth down, like the bootleg or whatever, where you could just see that was just a race to get to that point, right? I mean, like he was racing Sam Howell to get to that point to pick up the first down to seal the game.
Well, Coach Narduzzi at Pittsburgh, at the University of Pittsburgh, came up to me after a game that we went up to Pittsburgh and beat them at their place. And he came over and said, I don't know it verbatim now, but it was something along the lines of, I can't believe you just kept running your quarterback. And I said, well, what we did was we did what we had to do to win the ball game. And Drake wanted it. Drake ran, I don't know, probably 8 or 10 draws in the game. And made a lot of big plays, just like the one that you mentioned. And it was probably the difference in the ball game. And Coach said, I just kept saying, well, he's not going to run him again. He's not going to run him again. But that's what was working. That's what we needed to do. That's what he wanted to do. And it was probably the difference in the result of that ball game.
Hey, Phil, good luck. I love how you feel about what you have. You're molding it like clay with what you have this spring, and good luck with that. Last thing, can you try to describe college football today? Is there any way you can? You've been in this game for a long time.
College football today, in one word, is chaos. It's just chaos right now. And, you can do two things. You can complain about it or you can attack it. And so we've got a plan and we're attacking it. And I think the teams that are out there that are succeeding right now have the right approach and they're attacking it. It's more doable at some places than it is others. It's not sustainable. And so at some point, it'd be nice to see the portal allow just one transfer. I think that helps everybody, especially the players, even though they may not feel that way. And then some sort of financial cap, like they do in the NFL, so we can kind of put a lid on it and control some things so that they're a little bit more realistic. I am just anything that forces a player, an 18 and 22-year-old, to have to gut it out and persevere and have some fortitude and overcome, and gosh forbid, earn the right to get out on the field and take the green light to just quit and go to another place 4 times. I don't think that helps our guys. I don't think that develops leaders. And so I think if we can eliminate the number of times these kids can move on, financially distributing money to players, to me, is makes sense. They're the reason that these finances are coming into the university in the first place. So I'm in favor of supplementing our players. I just wished we could have some more continuity than what we're seeing right now.
No question. 100% completely agree. I love the fact you started in New Jersey as a high school coach. You had that time at LaSalle, but everywhere else in between. You have earned the stripes to be where you are. Good luck this year. And thank you so much, Phil, for your time.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. You guys enjoy the Super Bowl.
Phil Longo, head coach at Sam Houston State, started out as a high school coach in New Jersey. He then was at William Patterson University, LaSalle. How about this? Minnesota, Duluth, Southern Illinois, Youngstown State, Slippery Rock, Sam Houston State, Ole Miss, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and now back as the head coach at Sam Houston State. Went to Rowan University.
When you play hard, sometimes you fall hard. Sports injuries require special treatment. At Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, our team of expert doctors provides athletes and active adults with comprehensive sports medicine care, diagnostics. Whether you're in high school, college, or beyond, we'll help you get back on the field. Call on the team physicians for Baylor Athletics. Call Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.